Welcome back to episode number 6 of the Meltdown Podcast. I'm your host, Hyro, or you can call me Glyphics, alongside with my co-host, Zach Fight. This Meltdown Podcast is sponsored by ZipChair. Furniture for fans? Find officially licensed Las Vegas Inferno furniture or gaming chairs at zipchair.com. Remember, zipchair.com. We are here today with Frank Sidoris, the rhythm guitarist from Slash, featuring Myles Kennedy and the Conspirators, and also Mammoth WVH. Frank, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me. You nailed the intro. That's tough. It's a lot of words in those band names, and letters.
Oh my God.
It's not easy. Yeah.
I've been doing this 6 times already. This is the 6th episode. It's just pick up the pace now.
You're killing it, dude. That's great.
Thank you.
You think coming from the gaming scene, we'd have practice with this because like all the random
What's
names.
up, gamers?
Like
and subscribe.
Hey, man, it's really true, man, because like we're streaming, YouTube, whatever, you have to, you're in front of cameras. It's crazy.
Constantly.
Yeah.
I game, dude, and I was on all that GTA 5 stuff, watching all the videos, just the dudes giving you the insight, and it's just funny because that whole intro, it's a very important thing for all of those companies, essentially, those dudes,
Yep.
It's kind of like, all the marketing for the big stores, like you can kind of remember the jingles and it's the same thing.
I know. That's a thing. It's good.
Well, Frank, thank you so much for your time with us. I know you just came off tour.
Yeah.
Recently. So one of the first things I wanted to kind of get into, we're going to get into the basic music questions and get those out the way. And then we'll get to the fun stuff.
Sure.
So the first question we really had was, how did you get into music?
Well, I was always a musical person, I think. Like my mom, my dad, my sister, my immediate family were all musical people. Like no one really played anything. Like my mom played the piano, and that's pretty much it. But it was not like for fun. It was like something you learned, and almost by force. A lot of my friends were like that, but I never really had any musical instruments in my house. And then as time went on, I love music so much. I just felt like I needed to just take that next level to appreciate music more. Just because it's like, I could listen to Zeppelin a million times, but it's like, but I want to play. I want to do what Jimmy's doing. I want to actually just hit that next level, really. And then that was it. I was 15, and I'm 16 now. So no, I was 15, and I was almost 16. But I've been a skateboarder my whole life. Like I skated since I was 12.
Nice. Then
the guitar took over. And I just kept playing, and I slowly stopped skating as much because I just, the goal was to go pro. Like I really wanted to go pro. I'm trying, get sponsored, and then I just stopped. I don't know. I just slowly faded. Getting a job, and then playing guitar on the side was just all I cared about, and then it just took over.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was your first job?
Let's see. First job. Well, technically, so I worked for a production company. So my stepfather has a production company. I used to do like grip work and hang lighting and C-stands and all that stuff. But Target was the actual answer. I worked at Target, and it was brutal. It's just nothing more motivating than working somewhere like Target and then, going home and practicing to get the hell out,
Yeah.
I spent like 5 years at GameStop, so I understand that corporate thing.
How was that for you as a gamer? Like, did it kind of burn you out, or were you digging it?
Honestly, I'd go back if certain things changed, and they don't pay enough.
Trading rates?
They
Stuff
don't
like that.
Well, okay. Don't get me started. I had stock in GameStop before the whole thing happened, and I sold it way before I should have. I've lost a lot of money on that.
Let's change the subject.
I'm sorry, bro.
But honestly, there's a lot of good perks for it. I was a store manager for 3 years. So,
wow.
Conference is really fun. They had to actually stop doing conference in Vegas because
people couldn't handle it. Yeah. No one can handle Vegas, man. It's so funny.
So
a lot of people can't.
So if GameStop's listening in a future podcast, if you want to sponsor us, right? Hit up Frank.
Yeah, hit us up. Please.
Okay, so that's interesting. So why rock and not any other genre?
I play everything though. I just kind of fell into this. Like obviously I was raised on rock, my dad's a diehard Alice Cooper fan. I've listened to everything my whole life because, dad was more the rock guy. My mom loves rock music, and so does my sister, but my mom showed me way more like kind of funk music and stuff like that, or just whatever was really popular, current, and just all the good stuff from what she grew up with, and I love that. I really love it all, and I recommend everyone gives all the types of music a chance. It's important. As I did go to college I attempted it, and I had a music appreciation course, and the guy said, which this is what I left with, and I think it's important. He said, you can't eat McDonald's every day. You can, but you'll get sick of it. And, you can insert whatever place, whatever fast food you want. But it's like, it's important to try other things, try other foods, try other music, just give it a shot. And, everyone's default is like, oh, I hate country. I hate it. And it's like, I'm not a huge country guy, but I will sit there and learn all the guitar licks because they're incredible. There's something to find. There's something cool to find within it all. That's what it is. But rock, I always did gravitate towards it a bit more than anything. And Slash was always someone I looked up to. And I actually played in a pop band before. It was kind of like my first band in town was a rock band. Then I got hired. My first paying gig was a band called The Cab, and they were from Vegas, but they were with Panic at the Disco and all that.
I was about to say, I've heard of them.
Yeah, they were really big for a minute. It was awesome, but then I think they disbanded and then got a new drummer and a new guitar player, and they got me, and I played in that, and I loved it because it was it's Maroon 5-ish, but it's like there was funky guitars and there's still rock elements. But then realistically, I was like, I if I can get the Slash gig, which we'll talk about later, it's like that's something, that would be more my thing. You know what I mean? Because I don't have to really put on an outfit in a way. Like obviously, I feel like I could play anything and be happy about it, but I don't know. It was just a whole other thing. Like
it's just you.
It's more me to do. Like I don't know, not really a Panic at the Disco Cab thing, but more of the Slash. That world is more my thing, essentially.
That's awesome. I mean,
yeah.
So I guess you already kind of answered this question, but why guitar and not maybe other instruments?
I play the drums as well.
Yeah, I
attempted it in 3rd grade. I told my mom. I think she just kind of wanted to get me in that zone. It was funny. I think she may have recommended it. Like she had a friend. Like, yeah, he'll give you lessons and we'll give it a shot. But my 3rd grade, 4th grade brain just couldn't handle the drums.
Yeah.
Some kids can, but it's just, I didn't have the focus to do it. But as primitive as the drums are, that's the most basic, like, okay, I can sit there and hit something as a kid. Like how hard is that? But rhythm, that's an innate thing that most people have and some people don't, but
nope.
It's funny because I played guitar. I gravitated towards that because a couple friends of mine that skated played guitar, and I was like, man, I really want to do that as well. And then I started playing the guitar. Then years later, at rehearsal with my first band in town, I'll never forget being like, okay, I'm listening to Rage Against the Machine. There's a song called People of the Sun, and there's a really cool drum intro, and it's fairly simple. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna apply everything I know about learning the guitar to the drums, and it's all applicable. You could apply this to anything. It's just taking it as slow as possible. So I just sat there and just focused on one little bit, and I was like, okay, and now I'm playing this drum beat, and I can't believe it. Like you just take your time, and then after that, I ended up getting a kit off Craigslist and just played forever. I just played as much as I could, and I don't play that often because I'm kind to my neighbors. I try to not be that guy anymore because I used to be that guy. 8 p.m., which doesn't sound that late, but when you're in the proximity of a couple houses, the depth of a kick drum when you're just watching TV in another house, it's pretty deep.
Right.
So, but yeah, I love the drums and I want to play piano at some point and get better at singing. That's a whole thing.
Now I've heard piano is like the hardest instrument to learn.
I think if you do though, you become a better musician overall. Yeah. Like my drummer from Slash is one of the best musicians I've ever met in my life, and he his drum instructor told him like, hey, you need to learn the piano. You learn the drums, you learn the piano because you'll become more musical, you'll understand music a bit better. But for whatever reason, my drummer Brent has this like perfect pitch thing too. Like he's just eagle ears. Like if something's wrong at all in the song, he's like, hey, what was that? What are you playing there? No, it's C sharp. It's not C, whatever. And it's just like, how does he hear that? Like, it's amazing. So I recommend it because I think that the piano really rounds you out as a musician in general. Like the guitar is one thing. It's my favorite thing ever, but I need to take the time and do it.
Some music tips from Frank. If you're trying to get into music, learn piano.
Learn
first.
The piano, yeah. And I need vocal lessons. I need all sorts of things still. It's like you never stop. I mean, you shouldn't stop. You got to try to keep getting better.
Dude, when I was growing up, I was playing. I wanted to become a musician, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll get Guitar Hero and Rock Band, man. So let me tell you, I was shredding on Bon Jovi on Guitar Hero. Yeah. I was doing great stuff on Rock Band. I was like, this is awesome. And then I learned this is just a game, by the way.
It is, but that sparked. It's fun how we're tying this into gaming right now because it's what is it called? Rocksmith.
Yeah.
Okay.
That had the actual guitar.
Yep.
Yep.
plug it in. I remember there was a festival just down the street years ago, and Gibson Guitars had a tent, and they had Rocksmith like beta or like something, or like it was in a VIP tent and wasn't open to the public. And I was like, no way, this is amazing. People are going to learn. And you plug in and you play. I was watching it. I played it. I couldn't believe it. And I think it did pretty well. I really don't know. I haven't checked in lately, but it's a great idea. You know, the technology's there. It's not that hard to make happen. And they did it. You know, it's not as fun as, you know, playing Dragon Force on, I'm sure, but that takes a little more time.
The one that stuck with me was Guitar Hero 2 in Kansas.
Carry On My Wayward Son. Yeah.
That was the one that stuck with me.
Yeah, and that was huge for Slash, dude. When he got on which one was it where he was on the cover? He's in the game.
Rock
3. Okay, yeah,
it's called Heroes of Rock, actually. So.
Yeah, and that was huge just for like that other generation to understand, like, you know, what Slash is and what he means to the world and the world of music. You know, it's pretty incredible how that's how you reach him. And what's cool about Slash is he really is, obviously he's a friend of mine, but he's timeless that way. Like if you, not many people you can just see their silhouette and be like, oh, I know who that is. Yeah. You know,
it's funny you said that. I was about to say, you ever played Pokemon? It's kind of like that, where if you put the blacked out
silhouette,
you know who it is.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to think of Chansey. Trying to think of a random Pokemon real quick.
Chansey, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Random one. Yeah. See what I can come up with.
Well, it's actually a really good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Thanks. Thank you. I was Die Hard, man. I have to ask you guys this.
Yeah.
What consoles did you grow up on? And because we'll talk about our age in a second. I'm just curious. What did we grow up on? I'll go first. Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo. If you want to say I grew up on, I'll say PS2 or PS1.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
So that was where I grew up with that too. That was just my first console.
First console. Okay, first console. SNS or SES or
SNES. SNES.
Yeah, there you go.
The same.
Okay.
Or you can,
Super Nintendo. Yeah,
Super Nintendo.
And I'm gonna preface this. It was my dad's console.
Okay,
but it was the original Atari in Pong.
That's cool. I never got to play Atari. Like I always heard about it. I thought it was cool, but I'm like, I'm good. I'll play Mario Paint.
Yeah.
Star Fox, and I'll play all that.
Yup. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bases. We did Slugfest on the 64, which is the one I'm going to claim the 64 that I actually first played, because that's the one I played a lot of.
Dude, I played that so much. I played so it went Super Nintendo, and then I think the next one was PS1.
Yep.
Tekken. I had a lot of Tekken and trying to Blitz, NFL Blitz, and then N64, NFL Blitz again. I just played Star Fox like crazy, but like Nintendo 64 was so important to me. Like that was a whole other level.
Yep. Because those days when you pull out the cartridge, you get blowing the cartridge and then blowing the console.
It's just so funny. Like I don't think about it, because even like LT was talking about his first console. I think he said Xbox 360, and I was like, that's so crazy, because I remember GTA 5 came out on that platform.
Yep.
And that would have been his his first one. I'm like, that's just blows my mind.
Right.
And he's not that much younger. It's just kind of crazy to consider like how time is going by. It just felt so much slower when you were a kid, right?
Yeah.
Like, as far as consoles and generations changing, just nuts.
Yeah. Like I grew up playing, the Super Nintendo as a kid, but like the most I remember was Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Rock. Like those are types of games I remember. So.
Oh yeah.
That's actually how
Street Fighter too. I gotta say that. I played Street Fighter like a monster as a kid. I literally would walk out of my room and just have the blisters. Mortal Kombat, like I think that was the thing. Like Mortal Kombat for me was I think it was Mortal Kombat 1 when it came out. I mean, on Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
Did you enjoy the movie though?
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah.
The song and all of that, dude, was great. But that was like actually getting blisters playing Street Fighter, just doing too many Hadoukens. Yep. Like trying to learn it. It was just hilarious.
Call of Duty had that problem too. So we played what's called Claw Call of Duty.
Oh, dude.
So it's just like that. Yeah.
I have a friend who plays Apex Legends that way, and he's just a monster. And it always made me want to do it, but I just felt like I hated it. It's just so against my DNA. I don't do that.
I spent a lot of stupid money on extra controllers that I don't have to hold it that way now.
Right. I have the Elite controller too for Xbox, and it's great, but it's sometimes it just disconnects for no reason. There's all sorts of random things. I probably have to jump ship at some point, but I'm not going to. So I might. We'll see.
Yeah, no, I think we'll get to that too, because we have a bunch of good PC questions.
Go ahead. I keep finding a way to
we enjoy that.
Yeah, dude. We want to make sure that people listening are listening of gaming and knowing more, So, okay, going back a little bit then. So we know that you played in front of Jimmy Kimmel, right?
Yeah. Multiple times. He's a Vegas guy.
Yeah. So we're not going to ask you about that experience. We're going to ask you, what's your favorite guest experience ever playing in front of people?
Oh, man, that's a tough one. Well, as far as the talk show circuit, Conan was always fun because he'd hang out a little bit, and his band was always cool. We did Fallon once before it was the Tonight Show, so I'm a huge Roots fan, and I love Questlove. I think he's one of the best musicians of all time, and just as far as like knowledge, history, music history, he'll blow your mind. And we were sound checking, and they were just sitting there. Like, this is back when, if you can imagine, like, our setup's here and the Roots were right here. Not like how it is now where it's like if you're playing, they're over here. It's a very small New York studio. And we were just sitting there and they're kind of watching us, and Slash is playing something. And then Questlove kind of just starts playing along. Then we all just started jamming a little bit. So that was fun. But Jimmy was nice. But I think the coolest as far as like hanging out with him was Kimmel, because he'd actually hang. It wasn't just like the end of the show, like end of your set. It's not like, hey, give it up, Slash and the Conspirators. Thank you so much. Handshake, see you later. Like, Kimmel actually hung out and talked about pizza in Salt Lake City, and like on our next, whatever venue we're going to next, he's like, you got to go here. I'll call my guy. And he actually sent pizzas like at the end of the night. We thought like, you meet someone, it's like, oh, I'll tell you about my friend. We'll hook you up.
Yeah.
So yeah, sure. I appreciate it. But I'm sure it'll be like, we'll get busy and we'll forget.
Yeah.
We played the show 2 days later. And then after the gig, there's pizzas in our entire backstage because of him.
That's awesome.
Good dude. He's really cool. But I'm trying to think of other, like, so you're saying television wise, or like people I've ever played with or in front of, just in general?
Just in general.
Eddie Van Halen, I got to play in front of him. That was one of the more, I've played in front of Ozzy Osbourne one-on-one before.
How was that?
No one knows that story. I've never officially talked about it, but it's like I'll spare a lot of the details, but I had to play in front of him 2 songs by myself. And no band accompaniment. It was probably the most nervous I've ever been. And I'm good about nerves. I feel like it translates into a positive energy, like my best performance. But that was different because like when I auditioned for Slash, I had the band with me. Any audition, anything, I have a band with me. But with Ozzy, it was me and him and his manager. It was just, it's a whole thing, dude. But it was cool. He couldn't have been nicer. So instead of rambling, and let me try to answer your question, I'd say probably Eddie Van Halen was the coolest, because I was terrified because I'm with the band. Right. And he's just watching his son, just his new band that he's putting together. And they're like, hey, Ed's here in the parking lot. I was like, oh, okay. I'm just like, what do I do with my hands? What am I supposed to do with my phone? I was nervous, and put my coffee down on my amp, and I just waited for him to come in, said hello, played the set twice in front of him, and just had a great conversation afterwards. It was just the coolest, because it's like someone you've studied your whole life, like listening to these albums, you know him, you know how he is as a musician, and what he's done for music history. And it's just crazy, because I'm sitting there having a nice one-on-one with him, and he couldn't have been nicer, couldn't have been more inspiring, and the guy you wanted him to be, And I love that.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. I've only had like realistically one person I wanted to meet, and they disappointed.
Oh,
so maybe we'll get back to that. Okay. I'll tell you later.
So it's the edge to don't meet your heroes, because they're just going to disappoint.
I think you should meet your heroes. There's only like I said, my batting average is pretty high for like meeting cool people, and jamming with them. Even the guitarist of Rush, I got to jam with him. I'm a huge Rush fan.
Nice.
Alice Cooper, I got to play with him a lot, and he's always nice. He couldn't be nicer. And the one guy I'll tell you about later, it was just funny because I was like, I love this guy's music, and my friend's a friend of his and his personal assistant, and I know his personal assistant. He's a comedian, and everyone's just cool and lighthearted. I was like, this guy can't be terrible based on who he surrounds himself with. But the interaction was just brutal, and I was just like, all right, I'll give him another chance next time I see him, and then I'll confirm it. So
yeah,
I was laughing because I think the gaming scene's kind of the same way. Like, it gets a bad
Dr.
rap.
Disrespect, and
it gets a bad rap, and they're like, oh, these people are so mean. I don't, But then when you get to actually hanging out with them, it's just really cool people that are.
I'm sure, yeah. A lot of it's a character. A lot of the dudes that stream, it's like, which I'm not really. I don't watch a whole lot of streams, but it's like the people I'm familiar with. They all seem like it's a character. That's the whole thing, And then off camera, I'm sure they're just like, hey, dude, what's up? Yeah. Totally normal guy.
Right. So as long as you're not one of those people that are like, hey, do this.
Oh, I'm sure.
This.
Right. I get that.
Yeah. I mean, so well, you already answered it, so we probably won't get into it because the next question was that have you ever thought about anything else besides playing guitar, but you know, skateboarding, etc.
Well, as a Vegas native, I've always wanted to do something like, you know, my mom produces shows on the Strip.
Yeah.
She used to dance in town. She used to be a part of productions, and you know, my dad's he's worked in casinos. He currently at Resorts World, you know, like floor supervisor. My mom was a dancer. And then she started producing shows. And I was like, man, I would love to do that or something, or open a coffee shop or own a bar, which is actually going to happen soon, which I'm thrilled about. I can't announce it 100%, but I am going to own a bar soon. So I can't say that. Yeah. Well, so it's a nice little sidestep, you know, something for the town. Regardless, I just want to do something cool for Vegas, some sort of anything, because I love this town more than any place. Like, you know, I've traveled globally and I love places for what they are, but I have a very strong connection to this town and a lot of the people in it. I just love it here. So any way I could, you know, save Lake Mead or however we could do it, we'll figure it out, you know.
Well, speaking about shows then, are you a Stranger Things fan?
Yes.
Have you watched the final season?
Yes.
What did you think about Eddie Munson?
Oh, it was the coolest. I at first when he grabbed the guitar, I was like, is he going to play in the trailer? I was like, what's he going to do?
Yeah.
And then, you know, oh my God, it was just so perfect. Just the perfect arc, the way they set him up, and he just hit the home run with that.
You like the performance?
I loved it. And I guess he played a bit of it or something like that. Yeah.
So I guess in the back end, we won't spoil it for you.
I was going to say, I'm on the last episode.
So you're fine then.
Yeah, you're fine. So listen, the performance, even the backstage, just showed clips of him. Just,
oh, really?
Yeah. So he's on the backstage learning it. So you hear the song, he's just like drumming out and like, or guitar now, and he's like listening to it. He's like, oh, and then he messes up, and then so the vocals weren't him, obviously.
No, obviously. So because the track came on, like eventually was the track, but it was just cool because he was doing it.
So like, I think it was 50% of him was actually doing it. It was like, it was pretty impressive.
He's a guitar player.
Yeah,
it's just awesome.
Yeah, I like him because D&D. I'm a big D&D person, so that's
something I have to come clean about. I've never played.
Same.
I can run.
So I'm not alone.
I'll run a session for y'all if y'all want to play.
Yeah. Did you ever hear about the guy who has like the 30-year-old game? Like the game has never stopped.
Oh, yeah.
There's some dude who like you can come by his house, you pay him, and he's like, the game has never stopped.
And that's like the cool thing about it. Like you can keep it going on as long as you want.
That's pretty impressive. Like I don't know any other game that really does that, where it just continually.
Just your imagination.
You keep your stats and however, I don't know how it works. That's pretty amazing though.
Yeah. It's a progressive, and you can take your character from one game to another as long as the DM or the person guiding
the host or however you want to
is okay with it. But yeah, it's really open. It's one of the few communities I really like too, because it's very like come join and play and non-judgmental, and it's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I love how we're tying like music, gaming, Netflix.
It's all the same. It's all the same. Yeah.
I love it.
D&D, you got to have that ambiance music, and like depending on where you're
at. You have to. Yeah, I can imagine. I'm sure you can make it real fun. Like I have a friend of mine who I game with a lot. He's like diehard. He has his friends, and they do a whole thing. You know,
we do every Tuesday night.
Oh, awesome.
Yep,
that's great.
That's awesome, dude. Okay, well, how about this then? From Aerosmith or Led Zeppelin, what are your two favorite songs, or what your favorite song out of those two?
And what made you choose those two bands?
So we were starting to look up a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
We just did some digging on the internet, so we just wanted to, you know.
Yeah, we toured with Aerosmith one time. It was a long tour and it was awesome. We got to play MGM Grand with them, and that was awesome. But I'm gonna go Aerosmith. I'm gonna go Last Child is the song for sure, and then it's called we'll go Nobody's Fault. I'll just say that. So that one might not be as popular. Even Last Child is not like, you know, it's on the greatest hits, but a lot of people don't know it as much. But they're both written by the other guitar player, not Joe Perry, Brad Whitford. So super cool. Check it out. They're very moody, killer songs, you know.
Okay.
He's like the unsung hero. He's not the guy in the front ripping it, even though he is ripping in the back.
Right.
It's great.
Have you been to Disney World in Florida?
The roller coaster?
The roller coaster.
Yeah. Yeah. So cool. But then Zeppelin, that is probably the hardest because it's one of my favorite bands of all time. Yeah. Like, I'll say, just for fun for now, I'll say The Rover off of Physical Graffiti, and we'll say, pick a weird one. We'll say Celebration Day, and everyone's gonna be like, "What are you talking about? Why would you pick that?" Because I did.
Well, that's the whole point. You know, we want
Zeppelin 3. It's a weird question or weird answer, but we'll just say that for now. You can ask me the same question tomorrow. I'll give you 2 other answers. Give you 4 other songs. That'll be great.
So speaking of that, then, who do you look up to in the music industry, or when you first started playing? Who did you look up to?
In the beginning, let's see. I have to give a huge shout out to my drummer from Slash, because the whole backstory, the reason I'm in this position is because of him, honestly. Like, I got to tour with the Cab, and that was cool. But with Slash, he had been playing with Slash, and me and him would just get coffee. Like, I just knew this guy because he played with other artists I was into, and then he just gave me this chance essentially to, audition. And it's like, we had talked about things, and I was very green, and he's like, if you can, learn these songs and do this, show up to an audition and pull it off, then we'll see how it goes. It's not in my hands. It's in yours. And then whoever, makes that call. So I still look up to him a lot. Like, again, the guy who plays the piano has perfect pitch, just knows how to plays the drums the right way. He's not a showboat. Like, he could kill it if he needs to, but I look up to that kind of discipline, All
right.
My bandmates in general, they're all great, but I'm trying to think of who else Nile Rogers, great example. So he's from the band Chic, and you've heard the song La Freak, or that's pretty much the one you would know. That's like the song, but it was like disco stuff. All right. He wrote a bunch of David Bowie stuff, who's another absolute hero of mine, like Madonna. He wrote just hit after hit. His guitar is nicknamed the Hitmaker. He wrote with Daft Punk for Get Lucky. That's him. That's the guitar player.
So I want your opinion on Youngblood's rendition of David Bowie's.
Did you do Let's Dance or something?
No,
what do you do?
He did. I'm so bad with names. It's I even got it. He's gonna look it up before I can even remember it. But it just.
What would it be? I don't even know.
I've got my phone on airplane.
How do I not know what it is?
Because I thought
I'll give it a 10-second little.
Yeah. This is where we come to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Looking things on the phone.
Oh, Life on Mars.
Yeah, Life on Mars. Why can't I remember
How are you going to ask the question and make the guest look it up?
I was looking it up too.
I'm happy to do it. It's okay.
I had my phone on airplane mode, so I didn't.
Did you know that song before you ever heard the cover?
No, I love David Bowie, so. But I thought he killed it.
I'm already into it, so let's fast forward a little bit.
And so, like, you bring up David Bowie, and like my first experience with David Bowie was The Labyrinth.
Oh, of course.
And then like learning all the behind, like him doing the ball like shuffle. That's not him. That's somebody like reaching their arms through his.
See, that's when movies were like way more focused on making actual graphics and special effects happening without CGI and all that. It's just so awesome. But that was great. What I heard was very good. I'm impressed, because that's something you don't just cover. No. You don't just cover that song. That's a ballsy move. So I'm impressed. But I will give it a full listen later.
There you go, dude.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, there you go.
Question.
You gotta write it down.
That's it.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm happy to look up anything.
I wouldn't
think
of David Bowie, because like we knew Aerosmith and Led Zeppelin, but we didn't. Like, you just bring up randomly.
Pink Floyd.
Of course, I got into them way later. I always, as a young guitar player, they didn't really speak to me. That's a pun intended, by the way. It's a song by them. But it's like they weren't for me. It was just too heavy. It felt like not like heavy music, but just like heady. It just wasn't. I wasn't there yet. And then as I got older, it really called to me, and I love Pink Floyd. I think they're incredible. The song "Young Lust" might be my favorite. Like, that's a more like, listen to the bass. It's just so groovy. It's just a funky song. You don't really think of them as that funky band, but they really are. They're so good. It's just it's like Veiled. They're just this killer rock band that we all know to be spacey, and like, you got to be on drugs to listen to it. And it's like, no, you really gotta just give it. The Wall has some crazy songs, but Young Lust is my favorite. Okay. I'm a huge Beatles fan.
Okay.
Die hard. I have the same birthday as John Lennon too, so it's kind of cool. Yeah, made me grow my hair out, and his son Sean, which is crazy. They all have the same birthday.
Really?
All three of us. Yeah.
I wonder if that was planned out or not.
I don't know how you could do that, because it's like you could probably get within a
time period,
just like a week or two or something. But to nail the same day, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah. That's my family. So mine's November 25th. My stepdad's is December 25th. And then my baby sister's missed it by a month. She's February 25th.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm like, how did we?
25. That's cool.
So, Frank, question for you then. What is your favorite onstage moment ever?
Let's I'll open with when I got stung by a bee in the neck. That's not a favorite, but just a fun little thing to talk about. It was ridiculous. It was I was in England playing the Download Festival, and we're playing Paradise City. It's the end of the show. And like, my hair, when I'm on stage, it's flying all over the place. But I just felt this little I just thought it was my hair right here, just like kind of poking me. I was like, why does that hurt so bad? Like, I'm just trying to play the song, like, take me down to the Paradise City. And then it's getting worse. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, I hit the chord, whatever, and I kind of like swat at my neck. And I'm like, it's getting worse. What is happening? So I think in the blink of an eye during that song, something came up, just blasts me in the neck and then takes off. It was the last song of the night. So after the set, we take a bow and I touch my neck and it's just swollen. This huge welt. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm allergic to bees or not, or what, British bees, who knows? So I went straight to the medical tent. And they're like, you're fine, dude. Just chill out. It's like, you're good. You would have known. So I was like, okay. But it's a fun little stage story. But I'll give you a more sentimental thing. So like I said, Alice Cooper was a big deal for my dad since he was a kid. It was his first show ever in 75, 76. Yeah, 1975. So I became a big Alice Cooper fan by proxy. And then on my own, I wanted to be a fan as well. It wasn't just like forced. I really loved the music. So to speed it up, I get the Slash gig, which we'll talk about how I got it later. But what was so cool is that we played it's called the Golden God Awards by Revolver Magazine.
Okay.
And they do a whole thing where it's like this band with a special guest plays, then we do a couple awards, and then this band with a special guest. So it was like Marilyn Manson and Johnny Depp played, and it's like 2012, and then Nikki Sixx played with whoever, and then I get an email the night before or 2 nights before I go to LA. Hey guys, okay, your flights are booked. By the way, Alice Cooper is going to play Schools Out with you guys at the end of your set. And I was like, oh, holy shit, serious? I was like, no way. And then, so I don't tell my family yet, but once I lay it on them, they just can't believe it. So they're like, okay, we're all going to LA. And so I had met Alice a bunch over the course of my life. He's always been cool. I know his family, his kids are just good guys and girls. And it's just amazing that soundcheck, this was the moment, I think. This was just one of the cool little onstage moments I loved where we did our sound check, and then stage right, they're like, okay, Alice, we're ready for you. Just come up. We'll do Schools Out. And he came up, and he had heard that I had joined Slash's band, but there was this moment of, you could have put it in slow-mo. Like, I'm just sitting there, and he's walking up, puts his arm on my shoulder, and he's just like, hey, it's good to see you. Good to see you here kind of thing. It just felt like, hey, you're here with us. Like, you did it kind of thing. It was a very, like, wow, I hit some level there. Right. And we're playing Schools Out together as peers and not as like, a contest winner.
Right.
Like I called a radio station, play a song with Alice Cooper. I was doing this with him for real. And since then I've done multiple, his charity events. I've played guitar with him multiple times, and he's just the coolest guy ever. So that was the beginning of something really special. I felt, that was a cool onstage moment.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, early on too, I was still just like, no way, and now it's, obviously I still feel that way to a point, but we're on a much more professional, like, hey, how are you? We can sit down, have a coffee thing,
Right.
It's you'll always look up to those people, and
yeah, dude, and they set by example too. And like I said, meeting your heroes, and when they are, they exceed your expectations with how cool they really are. It's just, there's nothing like it, The guitarist of Rush, like I got to jam with him and Alice Cooper in one night, which was like, if you told 16-year-old me who's obsessed with this Rush live album and just trying to learn every Alice Cooper riff, it's like, you'll play with these dudes at some point. Okay, see you later. Like, just imagine someone comes in and tells you that. It's like, yeah, right. But it actually happened.
Just hit you all at once.
Yeah, no, it was hard to believe. It blew my mind. Drove into Arizona, played, drove out, and on just, I was realistically on fumes, didn't sleep a whole lot, but the excitement of what just happened got me 6 hours to Vegas.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, your life's eventful, right? So what do you do besides to pass the time for fun? Like, I know on Instagram, I see you all the time with your guitar doing things.
I'm trying to do that more too. I used to just post the guitars, and I'm trying to be more like, all right, I'm just going to play, and I don't care,
So what do you like to do besides that then? Because are you still skateboarding?
I do every now and then.
Okay.
Yeah, I still do. And I'm, within reason, I'm trying to be careful with the wrists. It's like, it's funny. There is that swap. There's that changeover where you go from, I am a skateboarder and this is what it is. If I hurt myself, it's for the love of it. And that's what it is. I'm going down with the ship. And then there's this changeover of like, I'm a guitar player by trade and by just everything. And like, even if I'm not doing this as a career, I need to play guitar. I have to.
Right.
So there's this like all of a sudden this like, hey, we probably shouldn't try that on the skateboard anymore.
Right.
You know, like I used to have like, I don't give a shit. I'm going for it. You know, now
Yeah.
I can't do that anymore. But I skate flat ground more so,
Okay.
which is actually really fun. I'm landing things I never landed as a kid. I think the kid brain to adult brain, the creativity is just different.
Right.
So I still skate and mostly, guitar, skateboarding, and then video games as well. So that's a lot of the free time. I'll, play Cuphead or something like that, all
Nice.
sorts of random things.
He hates
It's fun.
Cuphead. He hates
Because
it.
it's the hardest game ever.
Yeah.
It's because I have it in my car. And while I was charging my car one day, I decided to try to play it.
You have it in your
And
car. How do you have it in your car? Exactly.
Tesla, they have it on the app.
No
in your
way.
car, yeah.
Do they have their own?
No, so I got an Xbox controller I keep in my car
okay.
just to play.
Yeah. It's a fun game, and it's so throwback to where, like, obviously it's based in the 30s. The whole idea is 30s animation, but that game deserves all the awards considering it's like there are the side scroller levels, but you don't just play the game and beat it. It is, you have to memorize. You play the game and you have to memorize each level. It is so difficult. The right loadout, and it's like it's all so fun though. It really scratches whatever itch I have in my brain for that kind of old school game. I love it.
Visually, it's like so different.
It's a
so
masterpiece.
Appeasing.
Yeah.
But I'm still stuck on level 1.
Dude, I'll help you out.
After this, we're just gonna go out.
Yeah, I got you, dude. Well, let's take a sponsorship break and then we'll head into the gaming side of things. Again, so guys, thank you guys so much. This podcast is sponsored by Zip Chair. Again, thank you guys for being the sponsor. The furniture for fans. Find officially licensed Las Vegas Inferno furniture or gaming chairs at zipchair.com. That's a handful.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Listen,
What kind of chair is this?
I don't know, but it's not.
This is not. It's not.
This is not a zip
zippers.
chair. We gotta get you some zip chairs. We gotta get some zip chairs.
I sit at home 14, probably 15 hours a day working. So I have my 9 to 5,
Mhm.
and then I do Inferno stuff, which puts another 2 or 3 hours a day. So I'm sitting in these chairs for 12, 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it in any other chair. They're so comfortable, and my back's
really?
not killing me. And
Yeah, I have a herniated disc and everything, so I'm sure I could use one of those chairs. And it's anytime I hear a gaming chair, I always laugh. I'm sure you're familiar with like cheating, how like someone just clearly has some sort of cheating bot, whatever. And like that's a really good gaming chair.
Hey, we gotta get you one, man.
I would love one. That's awesome.
And surprisingly, we got to get you the executive one because the one that looks like a gaming chair,
Mhm.
like, that's the one I want. And then I got the executive chair. I'm like, I wouldn't have bought this on my own,
Mhm.
but now I've sat in it for about 2 months now straight. I'm like,
Dude,
would
you got to
not go
talk about so as far as gaming, like me and the Slash band, no one does that. I'm 33. They're all 50 something, right?
Yeah.
So I joined that band at 23, and like I've always gamed my whole life. It's just what it was. I love the challenge of it. But when I play with Mammoth, so it's Wolfgang Van Halen, he is a gamer. Like he always was. Like me and him we grew up the same way. Like him even more so. Like he was a true Nintendo kid. I have a bunch of friends that were that way as well, and I loved it too. Like Nintendo Power Magazine, all that. It's just it's a whole thing, dude.
Yeah.
I had it a couple times, but then my friends were like, "No, I had every single
Kids don't know nowadays. When you looked up cheat codes, they were in magazines. And
dude, I had the unofficial, unauthorized, which I didn't realize what unauthorized meant. But I was at like a whatever bookstore and got like the Mortal Kombat 3 Fatality special moves book.
Yep.
It said unauthorized, and so many of them didn't work.
Yeah.
So many codes. And I didn't know what unauthorized meant. I was in 3rd grade. I was like, oh yeah, well this is what it is. There's katana, there's whatever.
But it's funny because nowadays I bet that would be worth money if you still had it.
Oh, I'm sure. I destroyed that thing. I was flipping through it so much, but it's like so much of it made no sense.
Mhm.
Like you just couldn't do certain fatalities, but then I look this stuff up now and it just blows my mind. Oh, we also have to talk about GoldenEye. Did you guys ever play that?
Oh,
You had
yes.
to play GoldenEye.
I haven't. He has.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
you got to do.
Dude,
I didn't know that about you.
I never played GoldenEye, man.
Wow, that's something that needs to be discussed on a gaming podcast. You have to talk about it. So
And-
like that's something that you could still get into
Yep.
and understand. But there was I'll say this: there was nothing like having 4 friends and everyone starts shooting, and the game's like. It starts to lag. The whole it can't handle 4 people shooting. It was just the greatest.
It's so like mine for that. I did a lot of Nintendo because I did travel baseball growing up, so we were
cool.
all up and down the East Coast.
Nice.
So the Game Boy Advance or the Game Boy SP, the original Game Boy, those were just
I had the
easiest.
Advance and the color, and
Yeah.
I think that was it.
And then,
Go ahead, though. Sorry.
No, you're good. We would take the Xbox, the original Xbox with the original Halo from 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to get the coaxial like adapter for hotel rooms because you didn't have the RGB. And
right.
Team of 12 to 15 boys just sitting in the room playing Halo all night after the baseball tournament. It was awesome.
Can't imagine. Like traveling with a console now is tough. So I was going to say this. So me and Wolfgang do that now. I have the Series X and we just travel with it. And he's got his PS5. He's got a whole case. Like it's a whole thing, you know. But for the longest time, you couldn't get Wi-Fi to connect to your console unless you had a laptop or some means of getting. Like you ever go to a hotel or anywhere and there's that wall you have to get through and it's like sign in with your hotel room number, right?
Yep.
And your last name. So I'd have to have a laptop connected to it, Ethernet, and it was just it was annoying. And that wasn't until once the Series X came out, it pops up on the thing. You just type in your Wi-Fi stuff there and now you're on. So for any traveling gamers, I couldn't believe it. It works now.
Some people use their phones too. If they've got certain services that have good enough hotspots.
Had to get the hotspot. And it depends on where you're at. You know, it's like if you're somewhere like, so right now, 5G plus, we'd be chilling. Yeah. But like in a lot of places, it'll say LTE or say something worse.
I want to know who you have for service after this because I'm not going to name out the service provider. I'm not happy from North Carolina.
Starts with an A, ends with a TNT.
Not going to who you have. That's not who I have.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking about games, then Frank, I know because we talked about this before the podcast. But what games are you playing right now?
Mostly Apex Legends. Always. Like I think that. I swapped between Apex, Cuphead recently because I got a new DLC, and then Rocket League. Played Rocket League a lot, and then we used to play PUBG all the time and Overwatch.
Okay,
we got him on PUBG last week.
PUBG was my favorite thing ever. So the Instagram used to be called Gamers Doing Things, but it's House of Gaming now.
Okay,
and it made me laugh so hard because this is back when it was still beta. It was still like it wasn't 1.0. So this is like, years ago.
You had to get the code to be invited to the beta to get into the beta to play.
Yeah. And then shortly after, when it was like, 0.05 or whatever the hell update it was, they came out with a new map. And then the House of Gaming guy, the caption was like, download the new update and fall through the new map. And because like you'd be just driving and then your car would just through the map. It was the funniest thing ever. And all we would do, my friends and I would just honk the horns and just drive around and just play like idiots because it's like we would take it seriously, but when you get stupid kills like that, running people over, honking your horn the whole time, it's so dumb. It's degenerate stuff. And we were crying,
it's
laughing.
Funny you mentioned the car because one of my favorite instances in all PUBG was in a car. So me and a guy, we ran into each other, and it was during the beta. So you know how the cars were in there.
Oh,
so,
dude, yes.
We just flipped on the heads of the cars, and they didn't blow up. And so we're just sitting in the car looking at each other. He gets out of the car and he's walking around looking for me, and I'm just sitting in the car upside down. Yeah, I shoot his feet and kill him.
Oh, I love it. See, yeah, that's the amount of times my friends killed me on accident too. Just so ridiculous. Like I'm in the back of a truck and then they just shoot this way and kill me, and then we drive off a cliff. We're all dead.
Dude, listen, I got on PUBG with them the other day, right?
For the first time?
For the first time ever. Because the new map came out. I was like, oh, I want to try
another map?
Yeah,
they have so many maps.
So I was like, I want to try it out, So we get into the map. Never played it in my life. My very first game, and I'm like, dude, this fucking sucks, man. So I'm walking through the mountains and everything. I have my kid. He's like, where are you going? I was like, oh, there's people up there. So he's calling them out. I was like, okay, I'll stay here. You can't climb up the mountain for whatever reason. You have to go all the way around.
Yeah.
Me being a Warzone player, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So he's going around, and I'm just waiting for him. They still don't know. And then out of nowhere, from miles away, there's a motorcycle just coming. And I'm just sitting there. And as soon as I turn around, you see the motorcycle this close to me. And it just hits me and kills me.
Yeah, it's over.
It's done.
It's amazing.
I still think my favorite ones, I hear all of a sudden like, ow, that hurt. Well, what'd you do? He's like, well, I got out of the car and it hurt. Like,
if you don't even have to, you don't have to drive that fast. If you're just driving a little bit and you drop out, you'll just.
I didn't know that. So Warzone and Fortnite, you don't take damage when you fall out of car.
Apex, you jump off anything, you'll be fine. Yeah.
So I didn't know that. So I'm like, oh, there's a guy here, jump off. I'm just like, bro, why am I hurt? He's like, oh yeah, you take damage. If you get
I forgot to tell you.
It's one of those things like you don't think about it until you actually do it. And I'm like, oh, I should have probably told you that, but I wasn't thinking about it.
Right.
Yeah, you play so much Warzone, Fortnite, Apex.
I tried Warzone a bit, and no offense to anybody, because I just understand the, I don't know, the whole backstory of Call of Duty. Like I played Modern Warfare 2 a bit, but I just never dove back in.
Yeah.
And no offense to anybody, I think Overwatch was really fun, but then Apex really took over more than any of them.
Yeah.
That's the only one I really want to play. Like I really care about the ranking and all that. And
who's your main?
Right now, okay, so I'll go in order.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
See if I can remember it. Wraith in the beginning.
Okay.
Which, became the sweatiest character
Still
there
is.
Bald Wraiths. Bald Wraith. Then I went just Mirage for a second. Then we'll just fast forward. Revenant. I almost had like 10,000 kills with Revenant.
Wow.
And then Horizon big time. But then Maggie. I love Maggie. She's great. And then recently Seer, because the ranked meta is crazy and you gotta be a Seer, and he's fun.
What's your rank?
I hit Master last season. Yeah. But dude, a solo queue too. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I have to tell you why. Because everyone was like, oh, it was easier to hit Master than ever. But it's like, I didn't have a squad. So I did that by myself. So I'll take that badge. I'll take it.
Yeah.
You need to start streaming that, man.
Wolf and I talk about it, like, because he wants to do it for charity. I was like, that'd be cool because people would tune in. It's just us being idiots. We have a stack of 3 guys that will play. But I don't know. I love that game. And there's a lot of weird things I got to fix. Like, it was really buggy. They even had like a competition and it all got screwed up. And like $2 million competition. And Valkyrie. I love Valkyrie too.
So you watch like the competition side of things, like the ALGS.
I didn't watch it all. I only saw bits and pieces, and I watched like the bad stuff. I felt so bad. They're supposed to blast off, and then one of them got sent across the map. And then they all died. And they flew to North Carolina or something, South Carolina, wherever it was. It's like
Raleigh.
Yeah. So what the hell? How does that happen in a game that makes billions of dollars, right? It's like, and I love them, and it's cool. I'm friends with a dev on Xbox, and we play every now and then.
Yeah.
And Wolf's pretty tight with some of the developers, like senior guys in Vancouver for Respawn.
Okay.
And the voice actor for Horizon, we follow each other, so that's pretty cool.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I love that. I love when that happens at all, because I'm always like, all right, cool. Like, I'm a musician and you're a voice actor, and I love that. And I just want to I love that world in general.
Right.
And I also love that character, so it's cool that there's any sort of connection.
That's funny, because that's like my dream job besides gaming. I'd want to get into voice acting, which I know I'd have to go take acting classes and like really get into it.
Just learn how to say the same thing 10 different ways.
Yep.
That's all you have. It's like, that's all it is, with a little, go to any of the voice lines in Apex and click them once, click them again, and you'll hear the same thing. Just a whole other, that's the art of it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I actually had a few classes with he's the guy that does, he does some voices for Siege, and he was really cool because he was talking to me. He's like, here's what you need to do. And it was a lot of it. He's like, go find local improv classes. He's like, improv classes are one of the best things you can do.
Yeah.
To get into this. I'm like, I didn't think about that for voice acting. Like, I thought it'd be like up on the microphone and doing all the proper techniques to speaking in a microphone. I'm like, I didn't think about that. That's pretty cool.
Dude, it's awesome. Like, I love comedy, and I spent a lot of time in LA at the Comedy Store, and just I love comedians, and so that whole art form is just so impressive. I would love to do it at some point, like whether I do stand up or anything, but actually be in an improv class, because it's like my bass player from Slash and I, that's all we do is just talk about comedy or share stuff like that. Anything that's hilarious.
Which is funny, bringing it back to D&D, because a lot of D&D is just improv and interacting.
Oh, really?
So yeah,
I have to look that up. Just so I feel like I can't talk about gaming without like having that knowledge. I got to look it up.
I will get yelled at for saying this, because there's a lot of people when you talk about D&D like side of things. I'm gonna say Critical Role. I love Critical Role. There are a lot of voice actors that do animation, and a lot of them are video games. So season 1 is probably my favorite season. Production quality for like the first 50 episodes is not too good, but after that it's phenomenal. It's easy. So like if you're on the road, you can just listen to it. You don't have to actually watch it.
Oh, cool.
It's great.
All right.
That's awesome, dude. Because like I wanted to do stuff outside of gaming before, but not until I got into this position I am now is where it's like, oh, I could have done this all along and made it into a gaming situation. And now just talking about like D&D, Stranger Things, whatever, it's all coming together.
TV
it is, dude. Yeah. Like the Twitch thing, everything about it. That stuff, it blows my mind that you can do what you can do with this.
Have you thought, I know you just said that you've been thinking about maybe doing something for charity and stuff.
I would love to stream. I mean, if anybody wanted to watch, I swear it would just be fun. I would love to. I just got to get the right setup, like the right lighting, and you can just watch me get angry.
So do you have a PC?
No, I don't. But here's the thing. I have nothing against the PC world. I definitely, Wolf has an unbelievable setup,
Right.
and then my friend Nick has an unbelievable setup, and they play like Escape from Tarkov. They play
Yeah.
crazy games.
Our UFC fighter plays that almost every day.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I know that game's
Tarkov.
like terrifying.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you kill your friends all the time.
Yep.
Because it's like, I hear someone, I'm so sorry.
And there's no names, there's no colors, nothing. It is all pretty
Just
much.
that you can, when he told me you can, if you get hurt or whatever, whether you fall, you sprain your ankle or something, you could cut yourself and you could bandage it. And then if you start running, your wound can open up and you'll die.
Yep.
I was like,
Yep.
it's like, that's next level.
Yeah. They
It's crazy.
So Call of Duty's coming out with a same mode similar to Escape from Tarkov. A lot of games are starting to
Get
develop
more
that.
real. Well,
Get more
PUBG
real.
kind of had that
Yeah.
for what it was.
Yeah.
Where it was like loud.
Right.
It was quiet and then terrifyingly loud and then just very silly. And you can hurt yourself very easily, right?
Right.
PUBG was actually the ones that started the battle arena things, because the guy's his username is Player Unknown. So like how PUBG
Unknown's
used to be,
PUBG. Yeah.
It started as an Arma 2 mod. If you ever played Arma 2, which is
I never did, no.
It's a military sim game,
Okay.
and he modded that, and then it went
Wow.
on to be what it is now. Now you have Fortnite, Apex.
Yeah.
and all
And what
this.
I love about Apex is like, no disrespect to all the other ones. It just felt like the movement, the sliding, it just gets so much from it. I really enjoy all of it. It's
now
great
a lot
time.
of games take from that too.
Oh yeah,
so-
I mean, look at Fortnite. They took the revive station from Apex.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Fortnite, when Apex got introduced and you can revive a teammate, right?
Mhm.
Fortnite looked at it. You couldn't never revive a teammate in Fortnite.
Even if
ever.
they were down?
Even if they were down, you could revive them.
Okay,
if
but
they
not the respawn.
Yeah, not the
beacon.
respawn beacon.
Yeah.
So what happened is that Apex or Fortnite seen that and Epic Games see that. Okay, well maybe we should implement that. So
Around, second way of getting back in. Yeah.
Yeah, so because they were kind of starting to die down because of Apex.
Yep.
Mm.
And then you see they implemented a truck. So
Mhm.
you go to a truck and start reviving your teammate and everything, but it takes a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But now they introduced that you can revive. So Apex, you can only go to a beacon once as a one person.
Mhm.
But in Fortnite, you can go up to 3 or 4 players all in one truck, and it moves the respawn faster.
Oh, wow. Got
Yeah,
it.
so
It's like
instead-
capturing a point almost. You get it quick
Yep.
with more people.
Yep.
And
That's cool.
I think Fortnite, it wouldn't be as big as it is now without the no build mode too. Because I think the no build mode is what's saving Fortnite.
Do you remember that audio clip that said, what was it? A guy on me, and then you just hear like, and then he goes, and I'm at the top of the map. It just like, it happens like real quick. You just like, super quick.
Yep.
Because I never played it. I think I played it once or twice, and then I had already kind of been bitten by the Apex bug at that point. I was like,
I
I'm
love
good.
Apex too.
Oh, and Fall Guys. You guys play Fall Guys?
Yeah.
Dude, I
Yes.
love. You play?
I just started playing with
gotta play.
Wolf and everyone. We
We gotta
got to do
play.
it.
Yeah,
How
I-
big can your squad get? Is it 4?
No, 4. But if you host custom lobbies, up to 60 people.
Oh, dude, we got to do it.
Oh, we could get some custom lobbies.
It's so
Yeah.
fun. And does it cross-play to PC?
Yeah. And,
Okay.
Yep.
Good, because
Yep.
dude, I just started playing it and I'm dying. It's
It-
so fun.
And it's free to play for everyone now.
I need
Yeah.
to get a rage room in my house, so when I get mad at these games,
So what I do to them when we play Fall Guys, I look for them and I just push
Grab
them.
it. Yeah,
Grab them, push them.
That's great.
that and there's a new game called Multiverse you might like too.
Ooh.
It's
Sign me up. Yeah, I haven't heard.
if you ever played Smash Brothers,
Of course.
it's Smash Brothers but Warner Brothers.
Oh,
you have, like,
wow.
Bugs Bunny,
Bunny,
Shaggy. I love Shaggy.
No way.
Yeah,
That's a
Velma.
whole other universe you forget about.
Yeah.
Arya
Them fighting?
from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, they're fighting. They're actually, it's like
Oh
Super
my
Smash.
God.
Dude, I use Taz all the time. They,
He seems like he'd be the right character to use.
yeah.
That's so fun, man. Yeah, Smash Brothers was a huge, that was a staple for me too in the N64 days. But I guess they might be reissuing GoldenEye finally.
Yeah, I saw rumors.
So
about
if you
that,
remember, Rare Games made GoldenEye,
Mhm.
and that was Donkey Kong was Rare.
Yep.
A lot of games were Rare. That was
way
the
back in
Rare.
the day.
Yeah, and so I guess the entertainment, I don't know, Warner Brothers, there was some issue between Rare and whoever was going to reissue GoldenEye. Like, we can't do this. Like, you have to buy this, or they weren't going to bring it up or give it up. And now they did. They actually, I think that's in development, like a reissue of GoldenEye. Because you got to remember the actors, everybody involved in this one-off James Bond movie. It's like they all have to sign off on their likeness, and it's just very complicated. But
so many licensing issues.
Exactly, and I really hope it happens. It's a great game.
That's going to give me an opportunity to try it out first.
Yeah,
And then second of all,
you have to.
we have some questions for you from our fans.
No way.
Yeah, but before that, we have a question, a guest appearance question for you.
Okay.
Logan Thompson
Oh yeah.
ask.
Right now, or was this earlier?
This was earlier.
Okay.
When are you going to give him the green guitar?
Oh my god, it's so funny. well, when is he going to give me his goalie pads? Like, what's he going to give me? No, me and him talk about this because I'll show you the photo. I'll show it to the camera.
Really cool guy too.
Yeah.
Dude, I love LT. I met him because all I did was when he was put in the preseason.
Yeah.
They put him in last preseason, and I was like, yeah, he was awesome. So I followed me back, and it was just like little here and there chatting about whatever. And then at the end of this last season, he was a superstar. And we had always been talking anyway. It's like, yeah, well, I'll hang eventually because I know a couple of the Knights organization people, and we all got dinner. And I love the guy. He's a good dude and great sense of humor. He killed it at the softball game.
Yep.
I was very impressed. And I posted this photo. Let's see here. This one. So it's 3 green guitars.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite. That's the newest one I just got. And then he's like, that's the one. He wants that one. So the other day at my house, so it's just hanging up. So I just took my camera, filmed, zoomed in on it, sent it to him. So we'll figure it out. We can organize a trade, or I'll just it'll be under his pillow or something. We'll figure it out.
Merry Christmas.
You got to keep giving him a hard time until you actually give it to him.
Yeah, and I was gonna say I got to dangle it. Like I got to put it like he's on a treadmill and it's just there. Eventually.
Okay, so we got a couple more questions from the Pride. We have a lot, but we're gonna ask you a couple because we got the heat check after this.
Yeah.
So one of the first questions that what was the most difficult thing to learn as far as instrument wise?
As far as learning an instrument or like on the instrument?
On the instrument.
Well, I'll say learning 30 songs when I got the Slash gig.
Yeah.
Like I had to learn it in no time. Like I said, I was with that band, The Cab, and I was on tour in Singapore and Manila in the Philippines and Australia. That was in Japan. And I had gotten the gig. I had been confirmed with Slash. And I was like, okay, well, waiting for a set list. And they sent me 30 plus songs, probably 40 songs.
Oh, man.
And I had to learn them, like nail them. And Slash doesn't take any sort of there's no excuses.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Yep.
Like in hockey and anything. It's like, I don't want to hear excuses, and I don't either. It's like I'm speaking on behalf of Slash. Like I don't want to hear excuses, and then it's like I don't like it either in any position where I'm leading a band. It's like, well, what were you doing? Learn the songs.
Yep. But
I had a very small window to nail all of these songs, and I think if you graded me, I probably got like a 93%, I think, and then that last 7% was just this one song that he blindsided me with, and I was like, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me!"
Dang.
And I failed at the time. It wasn't really a failure. It was just kind of like I just had to learn it when I went home, and I just felt so mad at myself. But knocking out 30 to 40 songs is like within a very small window was tough. But that made me, I'd say, essentially bulletproof to where it's like you could throw that at me now, and I will knock that out for you,
That's awesome.
And I like it. And it's cool. And it's a lot less pressure than I realize. Like, I always put so much pressure on myself to do these things when I jam with anybody. Like, I jam with a session drummer who played with Bowie, who recorded every song ever, like, Wallflowers hits, Fiona Apple, whatever. And I'm thinking when I jam with these guys, if I don't know these songs, I'm out. But I show up to rehearsal after kicking my own ass for like a week. And we go to start the song, and he messed up the drum intro right away. And it was a very innocent thing. It didn't matter. He goes, starts the song, and he goes, wait, do I do that in the next part? And I was like, all that like pressure just went away. Yeah. But I put a lot of pressure on myself for that. But yeah, learning, I'll say that's one of the hardest things I had to do.
Are you a procrastinator or no? Do you work better under pressure?
Big procrastinator. Okay. Huge procrastinator. But I find that when I actually do spend some time, like I try to break it up. Like if I have to do a whole tour or prepare for a tour in a month, I usually take the next 2 weeks off and I'll kind of listen to the songs I need to learn if they're new. And then I really hammer it out the last couple weeks. You ask my wife about it. She just knows, but I'm a lot better than I used to be. I used to be I used to stress about it. I'd really stress, which I also, like I said before, it kind of helps you get in the zone.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So now with the last 5 minutes of the segment, we got the heat check. We like to do this thing where we just introduce, where we ask you random questions. It's either yes or no or this or that type of questions.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
And so it's just rapid fire.
It's rapid fire questions.
Cool.
So you have no time to think. You just
have to go for it.
You just go for it. You ready?
Yes.
Let's start it. Pizza or burgers?
Burgers.
Fries or onion rings?
Fries.
Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Sweet or savory?
Savory.
Spotify or Apple Music?
Spotify.
Apple or Android?
Fucking Apple.
Yeah,
Hard Apple. Blue text.
PC or Mac?
Mac.
Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Thank you. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Thank you. Call of Duty or Battlefield?
I've spent more time with Call of Duty. Yeah.
Thank you. First person.
Thank you.
First person or third person?
Tough one.
It's just a PUBG.
That's a hard. Well, and GTA. I didn't even get into how much I'm a GTA guy. I'm going first person now.
Okay. Red or blue?
Red.
Right or left?
Right.
That's it.
That's pretty good, yeah.
That's it.
Right or left? Weird. Because I'm a guitar player, lefty. I'm a righty, but lefty on the guitar, right? It's a right-handed instrument, but you play. But when you guys play pool, I'll ask you this. When you skateboard, if you stand on a skateboard, are you regular or goofy?
Do
you know what that means?
I know it, yeah.
No.
So, okay, if you push on a skateboard, if your right foot is on the front of it and you kick with your left, you're goofy.
Oh,
you ever snowboarded?
No. So I put my left foot on skateboard, push my right.
Okay, you're regular.
Okay, cool.
I'm regular too.
I'm goofy. I'll see you guys later.
That's how we ended, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Frank, there's so many other questions that we didn't get the chance to ask.
Yeah, whatever. You can rapid fire. I just keep talking.
We have to do a second part. We have to. We have to invite you back in.
Yeah,
I want to learn more about GTA.
Yeah.
I want to learn more about Slash and what you do. Like, we have so many other questions.
Yeah. Oh, to go back. Remember the guy said wasn't?
Yeah.
Beck. Fucking Beck. It was
fucking Beck.
It was
That's gonna turn into
yeah. We'll talk about that later. Beck. I can't wait to see him again so we can talk and I'll be like, come back, guys. He was cool. He invited me over for dinner. He was fine.
Show him the podcast.
Yeah.
Beck.
Dude, I have a whole wave of gamers that hate you now, dude.
The gaming community despises you.
GG's Beck.
They're gonna get to that point and then they're just gonna cut it off. So all that hurts.
Yeah.
Fucking Beck.
Oh, okay.
Too easy.
So any 2022 or 2023 upcoming news for you?
Just that bar that I'm going to announce eventually that I'm going to own. I
want to be there.
Very excited about it.
Okay. And then, how about your next tour?
Next tour, what is it? October. It'll be with Wolfgang. So Mammoth WVH. We're going to open for, so it's weird. The solar system of my life is Slash, and my lead singer is Myles Kennedy. He has a band called Alter Bridge. I play guitar with Wolfgang, who, again, we're all in the same solar system. It's pretty crazy. So I'm going to open with Mammoth for Alter Bridge, which is my lead singer from Slash. And last year I played Allegiant Stadium. We were technically the first rock band to ever play Allegiant Stadium.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Because it was us opening for Guns N' Roses.
Nice.
Who is Slash's band, right? Yeah. So it's like I get to be on tour with Slash in multiple ways. It was his birthday yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Slash.
Where can the people find you? Social media, any plugs you want to throw?
It's as simple as my first and last name, no spaces, no nothing. Just Frank Sidoris at Instagram. Frank Sidoris on Instagram, and then Twitter's the same. And I got blue checks on those guys and Facebook, and then TikTok. I'm just kind of floating around. I'm going to start using it more. I think I got to do it.
Yeah.
So what about Twitch? Have you got your Twitch yet?
Dude, not yet, but I think I have to.
Yeah.
I really have to. I feel like, I don't know. I wonder how I'll be received from like the rock community of the people that that I'm familiar with. I wonder how many of them actually game, because it's just me and Wolf against the world, it seems.
Well,
you think about that before you actually do it.
Yeah, I can't wait to do it. I really would love to.
Because like, how many people didn't know you played games? Because it'd be like that.
I think a lot of people don't know that. If they listen to this, they'll be like, what?
Well, over 20,000 people are going to listen to this.
Hell yeah.
This, so.
Good for you guys. That's really great.
Well, thank you for coming
I love
on.
that you have this place in town, and it's very successful. It's just awesome.
Level 9 Studios.
Dude.
So
very cool.
But yeah, man, we'll have you back on.
I'd love to.
Let's do a second part and go from there.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for watching the Meltdown Podcast. This is episode number 6. 7th is coming up next month with Sean Merriman from the Chargers. So
nice.
Stay tuned for that. Go follow Frank on his Instagram, Twitter, and soon Twitch.
Yeah.
And thank you guys so much for coming.
Thanks for having me, dude. We'll do an LT and I duo. We'll just yell at each other about it. That'll be great.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Thank you, guys.